morning, everybody. Welcome to this special meeting of the LA City Board of Public Works for Tuesday, October 20th, 2020.
Items at the December meeting and tweak the language a little bit. So
good morning, President Good.
we have
Campus Executive
all in
Officers,
line, and that would
establishing
make
roll
more
call
clarity.
and quorum for today. We have President Good, we have Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Caloza and Villegas. President Good, you do have a quorum at this time. For the record, President Good, Commissioner Davis, and Commissioner Villegas are dialing in remotely from their City Hall offices, as well as I am. And we also have Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Garcia that are dialing in remotely from their home. Today, we're also joined by our General Counsel, Ms. Lori Rittenberg, who is dialing in remotely through an audio line. Mr. President, at this time, we do not have any public comments in the queue. We also do not have any commentary from the Neighborhood Council comment section. We do have a couple of callers on the line for item number 4. We have Council District 11, and we also have 2 members from the LAWA team, Linda Silva and Tom Beatty, that are on the line should the board have any questions on item
number 9 is an extension to an existing contract.
So did you say there is no Neighborhood Council community citizens right now?
That is correct.
Permit us to
all right, so hearing that, let's go ahead and move on to
and in any other capacity that we might need it.
item number 1.
For the next year.
Item number 1 is
and if everyone had an
minutes from
opportunity
Friday,
to
October
review
9th,
that,
2020.
are there any questions?
Do I have a second to move the minutes forward?
Yes.
Second.
All right. A motion moving forward, seconded by President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Vice President Garcia?
No objections.
Any objections, Commissioner Caloza?
No objections.
Commissioner Villegas?
I don't have
All
an
right, hearing no objections, the minutes from October 9th are approved and moved forward.
Okay.
That brings us to item number 2. Item number 2 is CD 9 and 14. This is the final closeout change order number 14.
The purpose
JR
of my
Pipeline Company,
Yeah.
Inc.
And we have
North
never, in
Outfall
any
Sewer
year that we
Rehabilitation
have
Unit
had
6
this
and
contract, we
Unit
have never
7
even gotten
project,
close to
recommending the
against
board
it.
authorize the city engineer to issue the deductive final closeout change order number 14 for the NOS Rehabilitation Unit 6, Cooper to Wilson, and Unit 7, Wilson to Los Angeles River project in the amount of $794,834.14 to adjust bid times, allowance items.
Well, it depends on the parties that are involved. If we have a
Ryan
witness or a
Tolles
respondent
is
who
here to
requires
present.
those
Good
services,
morning,
then we
Ryan.
absolutely need
Hi,
to
good morning.
take
Can you
advantage
hear me
of
okay?
that. We
Yes,
just
sir.
have not been in a position.
So I'm Ryan
in
Tolles with the
previous
Bureau of
years
Engineering,
to
Wastewater,
do
Conveyance,
that.
Construction
But it
Division.
does happen.
Like you mentioned, the report before you is requesting authority
the
to issue
potential
the
issue
final
of whether
closeout change
20,000
order for
what
the
happened
North
if it was
Outfall
exceeded
Sewer
doesn't
Unit 6 and 7 rehabilitation project. The final closeout change order is an overall deduction of $794,000, $834.14. The project was awarded by the board on February 1st of 2017 to JR Pipeline in the amount
Is there a
of
motion to
$17
approve
million
the resolution
with an
and
overall
item
approved
A
construction
for
budget of
agenda item
approximately
9?
$18 million.
Commissioner
The project is one of the many ongoing North Outfall Sewer Rehab projects
Thank
that are
you.
critical
Is there a second?
artery of the city's sewer infrastructure.
Commissioner Darrow.
This specific project
Thank
is
you.
focused on a
Call
portion
for
we
the
refer to
question.
as
If I could
Unit
have
6
the
and
moderator
7.
take
The
roll.
limit of these units can be seen in Figure 1 of the report. Unit 6 is the blue portion, which is approximately
Yes,
1 mile
resolution
of 66-inch
agenda
and
item 9
60-inch
attachment
semi-elliptical brick sewer.
with regards
This was
to the
constructed
professional
back
services
in the
agreement.
summer of 1926 originally.
Those in favor of the
And
motion?
Unit 7
Yes. Those
is
opposed,
upstream of
say
Unit
no.
6 and is the yellow portion
Commissioner
on
Narr?
Figure 1.
Yes.
And this section
Commissioner
is
Davis?
a little over half a mile and is also a
Commissioner
60-inch
Janelle?
semi-elliptical
Commissioner
brick
Janelle,
sewer,
yes.
which was
Commissioner
constructed 1
Murray?
year prior in
Murray, yes.
1925 originally.
Commissioner Orden?
The project, the
Commissioner Orden,
rehabilitation was completed
That's
in February
5 yes
18th of
votes.
this year, a
Motion
couple of
carries.
weeks ahead of schedule,
Thank you.
which contributed to the project completing overall
Thank you,
under budget.
everyone. Now let's move
This
on
final
to
closeout change
item
order
number
will adjust bid items,
moving on to,
and
I think
allow
that's
unused
just
allowance
action
items and also
Now we're
settle
moving on
all
to the
claims and requests for
informational items.
adjustments for the
We're
construction
going on
work
to the
performed on this
overview of
project.
lobbying
It
laws.
does not
For those
include
of you who are
administrative items such
newer
as subcontractor participation
the
levels or any
commission,
potential penalties, which the Bureau of Contract Administration will report upon.
commissioners
their review.
went through
summary of what's included in this change order is
trying to reform
overall
lobbying
deduction of
laws. We had
$419,000 of allowance items
comments from the
and a
community.
deduction
We had
of
a town hall.
$413,000 in
We
bid
talked
items.
about a lot of different
A detailed
issues,
breakdown of these
and,
adjustments
it took
are
us a
shown
long
in
time,
page
but,
3 and 4 of the
Commissioner
report.
Orden was involved in that
The
process.
change order
as
also
was
includes
Commissioner
$38,000 for additional liner
And,
material that was
there had also
ordered by
been
the
a
contractor due to a
previous,
discrepancy in the drawings. This
package
change
that
order
went to the
results
city
in a
council.
total
It didn't
contract
get too
reduction
far. We
of
tweaked it, and we thought we had a great package. However, because we
$794,834.14,
do have
which exceeds the city
two
engineer's
new
authority of
wonderful commissioners,
$150,000.
we wanted to
Therefore,
revise
here
these
asking
issues
for authorization to proceed with this deductive final
city council
closeout
did not
change
take
order.
our recommendation.
The project is funded
For
through the
reasons
wastewater
that
system
are
commercial
unclear,
paper and construction
whether they
fund.
were
There's no
uninterested or
impact to the general
unwilling,
fund for this
but
project,
as you know,
and it's also
they
not
did
subject to
take
the cost
our
containment of
developer
this
ban,
request.
and they
Here
did
to
take up
answer
our
any
matching
questions
fund.
you may
So
have
this is the
regarding
trifecta that
this
we
report.
want to get pushed through, and I just
Thank you,
wanted
Ryan.
to
Appreciate it
have
very
an
much.
overview
Colleagues,
of what happened with
let's start
us.
with Vice President Garcia.
And
Any
again,
questions?
Mr. Joseph did an excellent
Good
job.
morning,
with the
everyone.
town
No, I
hall.
do not have any
Previously,
question.
we had
Brian, good to
separate
see you. Thank you for your
And
report.
all of the commissioners
I see.
who
Thank
were
you.
on that previous
All right.
commission were present.
Thank you, Vice President
for
Garcia.
each one of those. So I
President Pro
want
Tem
to thank
Davis.
them
None
for
on
their
this side.
service, and I want to thank
Okay.
the staff. We did a lot of work on this,
Commissioner
but we're
Villegas.
going to have to sort of start, I'm sorry.
No questions, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
We have to
Thank you.
start up again.
And Commissioner
And
Calusa.
so with that, I would
Thank you,
ask
President Good. I don't
Mr.
have any questions, just a few comments.
Madam Moderator.
I think you said a lot of magic words,
we
Mr.
may have
Tolles.
a late.
Under budget, ahead of schedule.
So I will
Those are all
say
really
that
good
on the line
things,
and
and
would
you said
like
deductive
to
change
make a
order,
public
so
comment, please dial
we'd like to
star
get
9.
money back from these very big projects, so just commend BOE and your team specifically for handling a
Callers,
very
if you would
large
like to
job
make a
very
public
smoothly,
comment, if you
so
can please
thank you.
dial star 9 to raise your hand, and we will go.
Thank you, Commissioner Calusa. Yeah, agreed. I think
For 2
deductive
minutes.
change order is a phrase that is like music to all of us. So great job, BOE. Great job, all the departments involved with this one. And I have no
I do not
questions
see
either,
any
Ryan.
raised
Do I
hands
have a
at the
motion
moment.
to approve?
So move.
If you'd like, we can
Thank
circle
you,
back
President
after
Pro Tem Davis. Do I have a second?
A
Yes,
second.
Thank you,
Oh,
Commissioner Calusa. Any
Excuse me, I'm
objections
not
or
sure if this
questions,
is
Vice
the
President
same
Garcia?
caller that,
No objections, thank you.
Thank
Nancy
you,
is referring to, but
Commissioner Villegas.
I did get an email that was also addressed
All
to,
right, thank you.
Executive Director Holt as well
I
as
am,
the attorney
we're gonna move on
Renee
to
Stout
item,
that came in
I'm sorry,
after the
so, with no objections,
who represents the LA Lobbyists Association.
motion
And
from,
he is saying that he,
motion
he
from
is on
President
the
Pro Tem
phone
Davis,
with
seconded by
Executive
Calusa,
and has been
the item is
trying
approved
to,
forthwith.
make known that he wants to.
So I'm gonna move on to item 3 really quickly, in case anyone's here waiting. I do wanna go ahead and, let everyone know, I'm gonna continue item, we're gonna continue item number 5, till next week, October 27th, Dr. Campos.
We were trying to access just now.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That's right, Mark.
So if anybody's here from Streets LA, with the community that wants to talk about that, plan to rejoin us on the 27th, so next week. All right. So with that, let's move on to item number 3. This is in CD1. This is a memorandum of agreement for Albion Riverside Park project.
one comment while we're
Recommending the
figuring
board
all
approve
that
and
out.
forward this report with
Thank
its
you for those
transmittal
of
to the
you in
mayor and city
attendance
council
who are
with
listening.
the recommendation that the
We
city
will be
council,
taking
subject to
items up
concurrence of the
again.
mayor, authorize
If
the
you
president
have
or 2
public
members of the
comments
Board
that
of
you'd
Public Works
like
and direct
to
the Bureau of
put
Sanitation
in writing,
to execute
please
the proposed
give us
memorandum
those
of agreement
before
between the
the
Bureau of
next
Sanitation
meeting,
and the Los
so
Angeles
we
Department of
can discuss
Recreation and
those
Parks
items,
for
we
the
can have them
operation and
items,
maintenance of the
those
Albion
items
River
ready. I know
Park,
there are certain
Albion
individuals who
Riverside
tend
Park
to,
project.
the morning of the meeting,
Costa
have
Caporis is with
commentary
us
or have
today,
commentary, and it makes it very frustrating for us. So if
this
there's
is a really
anyone
exciting project, so
who would like to make
I think
commentary
Costa
or
will
submit
ride ahead.
documentation,
Thank you, Commissioner Hood,
after you get the
fellow
agenda items again
commissioners,
before the meeting, so
Mr. Campos and
commissioners will have
everybody.
time to
This is,
review
as
your comments.
President
And
Hood
again,
said,
we welcome
this
comments
project,
from all individuals.
we're
So
asking
I
for
wanna
to
thank
establish
everyone
an
for
agreement
participating. I know
between
there was a lot of
sanitation
commentary
and
and
recreation and parks for the operation and maintenance of the facility. This is one of our largest PRAPO projects. It cost us close to $40 million to complete. That includes the acquisition and the facility. The biggest part is the water quality improvements, but also this recreational element. As part of the project, we constructed a number of infiltration galleries that diverted flow infiltrates into the ground, but also it improved, it extended nearby park with new park facilities.
For the record, at the top of my screen,
that was in part funded by the state and in part by Recon Parks. So this agreement delineates the responsibilities between us and Recon Parks. We would be responsible primarily for the water quality improvements. That includes the infiltration galleries. We have two hydrodynamic separators that trap trash before it goes to the infiltration galleries. And Recon Parks would be responsible for the park elements. And in addition, as part of the park, they created the permeable pavement, actually 2 strips of permeable pavement.
Jim Sutton.
And
Can
they
you hear me now?
Also,
I apologize for that. Maybe that was the problem all along. I'm now calling it another phone. So again, I apologize for the difficulty of getting into the meeting. This is Jim Sutton, and we represent the Los Angeles Lobbyists Association, the trade association of government affairs professionals active in the LA area, and we have had the privilege of working with staff and the commission on numerous iterations of various changes to the lobbying law and interpretations of the lobbying law for the past 20 years, and we look forward to again working with the staff and the commissioners on whatever the new proposal turns out to be. I think we did submit a letter earlier this morning, and we also provided the commissioners with some of the correspondence that we submitted outlining some of the concerns, policy and logistical concerns with the proposal as it was submitted to council. But I think our global comment now is that it's a unique time for the commission to really take a broader, more holistic look at how the lobbying law can increase transparency and increase public confidence. Since the commission looked at this issue 3 or 4 years ago, as you all know, City Hall has been embroiled in a wide-reaching corruption scandal. And how the lobbying law may or may not fit in to those issues about public trust and unbiased decision-making and transparency, I think warrants really not just a fresh look at the lobbying laws, but a much broader look. What are the goals of the lobbying law? Do the existing forms really provide the information, provide the public with relevant information? Is the electronic filing system that was set up, you tell me, 15 years ago, is there a better way of getting this information to the public? And of course, as the prior caller said, the members of our association, all of whom want to comply with the law, believe in full transparency, but believe that, at least the last proposal, the commission staff did not take into account how the increased frequency of filings, the increased questions, really was an unnecessary burden on the firms that were just trying to comply with the law. So, just to wrap up, thank you very much again for the opportunity to work with you on whatever these proposed changes might be, and urge the commission to, I want to say start from scratch, but to really take a different approach this time around, think about what's happened in the city for the past few years, and figure out the way the lobbying law fits into that, instead of what was done before, simply requiring more paperwork, which doesn't necessarily achieve the goals the commission wants to achieve. Thank you.
Unless there's a major policy
Thank you, Mr. Sutton.
change that an MOU or a MOA of this
Are there any more
nature does not necessarily
callers
require going to
on the line?
council or the mayor. And I was
Yeah, under these circumstances and given the directive, I agree with Dr. Campos.
Madam Moderator, we could be any
So, all right, colleagues, I mean, to me, and I'll open it up, but to me, you know, this would, I have zero desire, and no one here does, of attempting to usurp the power of council or the mayor.
And then we'll hear
However,
from Mr.
I do feel like
we're gonna miss very
this,
much,
frankly,
and
is
Mr.
not,
Joseph.
there is no particular distinction between this and other MOAs on Propo projects that we have seen. This is fairly standard
There do not
fare,
to be any
and
additional
in the interest
Thank you,
of
Mr. Lowe.
efficiency,
I know I'm gonna
moving
miss
things
you,
forward,
and you
I
know
am
why.
very comfortable with
Thank you. This is
simply
your
approving
last
here
hurrah.
amending
Yeah.
the item. So
Who's gonna
I'm going to
keep
put
me on
that
my
on the
toes
table
with
for
regards to
conversation
searching.
along with
But anyway, and you know what they
questions
are.
and comments
Thank you,
from
and,
my colleagues. And what we'll do
this
is
may
we'll
or may
start
not be
off
your
with
last
Vice
presentation. I hope
President
it's
Garcia.
not,
So
but it may
I would ask
be.
everyone
I know you're going on a
weigh in as to A, just the
retirement
general
bill.
MOA, and if you have
So
questions or
thank you for
comments,
your
and
service
B,
to the city and to the
you
Ethics
know,
Commission.
if you have
And,
a particular opinion
with that, take it
relative
away.
to amendments, be open to hearing.
Thank you for your comments.
Welcome
I'll
to hearing that.
address
So Vice
it in
President
just a
Garcia.
second, but I believe
Thank you,
my
President
colleague,
Good.
Mr. Joseph,
So let me get this straight. We are saying that we can just approve it here and it doesn't have to go to the mayor and city council? Is that ultimately what we're saying? Okay. Oh, I'm okay with that. I mean, we're the ones that are gonna maintain it anyway. Our part of this. I'm totally fine with it. Costa, this is not part of the MOA, it's more of a fun question. So when I get to show off this part, do I get to say that the water that we capture from the storm gets recycled and is the water that we use to irrigate the park?
So that we'll be able to talk a little
No.
The water that we filtrate will infiltrate into the ground. We do have a portion of the floor that will run off, goes through a vegetated swell. So part of that swell, I guess, is water by the flow that will go through it. But no, we do have the floor, though. One of the features of the facility and of the park is the irrigation is with the clean water. So we are reusing water that was previously sewage. So it has one of these features.
All right, I'll find something else to say then.
No, but it infiltrates and diverts from a lot of polluted runoff because it has a big drainage area and it's good water quality on its own.
Okay. I'm really excited about this one. I actually see this is one of the few projects that when I came to the board was in its conception and it was just being built. And so now to see that we're at this point where we're now, doing an MOA with Rec and Park, and who's going to take care of what is exciting. So I'm fully supportive of this project and I support amending the recommendation to the board of just keeping it within Board of Public Works as well. Thank you, Dr. Campos, for that, and President Good and Costa, thank you for your report.
You'll hear some history.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Commissioner Colosa.
Overall, you'll see the scope of lobbying activity.
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions for Mr. Costa, or Mr. Kaporis, I apologize. This is a really great park. I remember going to the opening with former Vice President Cabello for this one, and it's really much needed in the neighborhood. I think one fun fact, maybe Commissioner Garcia, that you're able to share, but correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kaporis, but this used to be, there was a lot of remediation that was done at this specific site, right? Was it formerly a dairy farm? Do I remember?
Correct. And it had a lot of industrial uses, and there was a lot of cleanup cost, and just purchasing the facility also was a lot of costs for there. But now it's all cleaned up it's a very enjoyable park.
Right, so it's pretty remarkable the transformation that you all did with something that was previously a dairy farm and had a lot of contamination in the soil, and now you're able to turn it into this usable space. So I don't have any questions, but just to echo Vice President Garcia's sentiments that this is very exciting that this is continuing to move along in finalizing these agreements.
Electronic filing of reports by lobbying entities. I'll also point out that in 2008,
President Pro Tem Davis.
Yes, Mr. Kaporis, I wanted to just reconfirm the agreement is between two city departments, Bureau of Sanitation and, well, between a bureau and a department, and the Department of Recreation. Those are the two city entities responsible for operations and maintenance of this park project. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the funding we are getting is from a state prop fund? Or?
The project has been completed, so the project was primarily funded through PRAPO, and we did receive a number of outside funding. I think the biggest outside funding was from the state's PRAP 84. I think it was on 5 million. So it's, but mostly was funded by this PRAP.
Okay, wonderful. So it looks as if, in fact, that the agencies are both city agencies, and we have obviously been entrusted by the council office and the city council to implement operation and maintenance, and you're coming to us for confirmation of that, and I'm comfortable also because of the support of the city attorney's office that we move forward to consummate this agreement and get this project complete.
So basically, that
Thank
is
you, President Pro Tem Davis. Really appreciate it. Commissioner Villegas.
As we move forward.
I don't have any questions. I have the same comments as my colleagues. I'm sure that we'll be seeing this type of a project through the local return money from Measure W for operations and maintenance in the future, since LA San has to maintain a lot of equipment and a lot of electrical equipment and all the underground work that we don't see in the future. Congratulations on a job well done. I just remember this project from some time ago.
In an attempt to influence municipal
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Agreed. It's really a tremendous project. I remember also visiting when
Moving
it was
on, a lobbying
just a big,
firm
giant
is an
dirt
entity
mound,
that is one entitled to
building,
receive
and it's just
compensation
amazing
of $1,000 or more
with that.
in a consecutive 3-month period.
Reason to salute then Council President
Their first task is
Garcetti
an
and
individual,
the colleagues who
partner,
put
an owner,
Pablo on
a
the ballot,
shareholder,
which I believe
officer, or
won
employee
with
who
over
qualify
85% of the vote for a $500 million bond that we are, of course,
Finally, the
again,
last type
still
of lobbying
seeing
entity is a lobbyist
the
employer.
legacy fruit
And this refers
of
to
Angelino's art.
any entity other than a lobbyist
Authored by Garcetti.
that employs a lobbyist in-house.
So
that lobbies
really well.
only on
All right,
behalf
so I will move or I will motion to approve the MOA with an amendment to move it forward directly right now. So, Dr. Campos, how would you want to handle the wordsmithing?
I second that motion.
It does include
Great, thank you, Dr. Davis. So that motion would be to adopt the report as amended, and that would strike out the words following forward all the way through the concurrence to the mayor, and the recommendation would now read approve and authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works, etc., to approve this item.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Campos. We have a second from Commissioner President Pro Tem Davis on the amended item. Any objections or questions, Vice President Garcia?
No objections, thank you.
Thank you. Any objections or questions, Commissioner Filosa?
No objections, thank you.
Or other events,
Yes.
and engaging
None.
in similar conduct.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Costa.
So what is
And
municipal
congratulations, the item is approved. Hearing no objections, the item is approved forthwith.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Administrative matter.
All right, that brings us to item number 4 in Council District 11. This is a tree removal request, 5200 through 5548 block West Arborvitae Street. Recommending the board find under the California Public Resources Code, section 21166, and the state's Environmental Quality Act guidelines, section 15162, on the basis of substantial evidence contained in the whole record, since the city's prior certification of environmental impact report number EIR, state clearance number 201-502-1014. There have been no changes to the project, changes with respect to the circumstances under which the project is taken, or new information of substantial importance concerning the project which cause new significant environmental effects or a substantial increase in the severity of previously identified significant effects, and therefore no subsequent EIR, supplemental EIR, or other analysis is required for the project. 2, specify that the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute a record of proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 3, approve the request for a tree removal permit to remove 17 trees of various species. Tree replacements are required. Hector Benuelos is with us this morning to describe, sort of walk through the removal request. Good morning, Hector.
Response to an RFP or RFQ, or is negotiating a
You there?
contract.
I also see that we have Jeff Thompson from Council District 11. Good morning, Jeff. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Nice to call you president. Sounds nice. That's really good.
Along with that submission.
Do we have
Finally,
Hector?
501c3s are also exempted if they
Hector, you're muted. We see you on the screen, or we see your name.
Okay, I figured it out. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, good morning, President Good, Commissioners. Hector Banuelos with the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. What we have is a request to remove 17 trees for the Los Angeles Airport's landside access modernization program. There are several components with this, in phases with this program, and one of them is the CONRAC facility, which is the Consolidated Rent-A-Car. And this is it's a large facility bounded by West Arborvitae Street to the north, West Century Boulevard to the south, La Cienega Boulevard on the east, and Concourse Way on the west. This is an area that was formerly known as Manchester Square. So the whole area is going to consist of the CONRAC facility. And as part of the facility improvements, the Los Angeles Airport is performing street widening and other related street improvements along the west side of La Cienega Boulevard and along the south side of Arborvitae Street. And so these improvements will severely, and the CONRAC construction will severely impact 17 street trees. There are 11 Australian willows and 1 carrotwood tree growing on the West Arborvitae Street. Will be severely impacted by the street widening there. And there's also 2 southern magnolia trees growing on the west side of La Cienega Boulevard, just south of Arborvitae, that will also be impacted by the street widening. Also want to note that there's 1 Mexican fan palm and 2 carob trees that were previously approved on a previous request for a tree removal permit. These are growing on West 98th Street. These trees will be required to be removed in order for the contract construction to continue. And so altogether we have 17 street trees that will be impacted and require removal. The Los Angeles World Airports and the Streets LA are tracking all the tree removals associated with each segment of the LAMP project here, and the removals are noted. And the World Airports will be required to replant at the ratio of 2 to 1 for every tree removed, and will be required to maintain and water the trees for a minimum 3-year period. The Community Forestry Advisory Committee, the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, and the Council District 11 were notified of the tree removal permit request. And the Council District 11, we did receive some correspondence that they are in support of the project and do not object to the tree removals. That concludes my presentation. Do we have any questions?
And it's an easy way for you to see at a glance what type of disclosures.
Sorry, there was a
has to
quite obnoxious motorcycle blazing behind us here at City Hall. I thought I'd spare you all that noise. Thank you, Hector, very much. By the way, I want to note, I see we've got Glenda Silva with us as well from LAWA and Stephanie Sampson. Good morning, y'all. Thanks for joining. Dr. Campos, before I ask Mr. Thompson if he'd like to say anything on behalf of Councilmember Bonin, just wanted to confirm, did you say that we also have some folks from the leaders from the community?
No, there is no other members from the public on the line, just the LAWA team. You also have Mr. Tom Beatty on the line as well.
Okay, great. Oh, hi, Mr. Beatty. All right, Jeff, hey, would you like to say anything in terms of this project?
First up is
no, other than just to say that we support it. This is a huge project that's going in. You can't, it's really difficult to understand the scale. This is an entire block, a massive city block. It's going to be one of the largest consolidated rental car facilities in the world. And as part of that, just to add on to Hector's comments, we are LAWA is completely reconstructing the sidewalk and doing some really good public works interventions in this area. The area is very auto-centric today, and there's not a lot of pedestrian amenities currently. And Council District 11 has been very involved in the design process of these streets. And we're not only going to get much more generous sidewalks, we're going to get much more generous street tree pits, which, as you all know, is integral in maintaining the health of these trees. And most of the LAMP program will also get recycled water capacity for irrigation. So we will have, we will have healthier trees that will grow quicker using extra recycled water capacity that we have on the west side. So very excited about having this project move forward and looking forward to the day where we have some really nice tree canopy in that area. We don't today, and we hope to have.
Finally, this disclosure.
Yeah, it's actually very exciting, and the collaboration between City 11. Nobody loves the trees or superheroes any more than the folks of City 11. And LAWA is growing, so I really appreciate that as a threshold matter. Do the folks from LAWA want to add anything, or are we all good?
The lobbying entity and the client.
Good, and we appreciate your support, President Good and fellow commissioners. We appreciate your support for this project. As Jeff said, it's a major project. It's going to bring some beautiful amenities to the community, make it more walkable, and our tree replacement is very robust. So we're very excited about the project. So we think
only applies to.
Thank you, Glenda. Appreciate it. All right, colleagues. Questions and comments. Vice President Garcia, we'll start with you.
Or more.
Sure, thank you, President Good. Welcome, everyone. I just have, my question is not, I fully support this, by the way. My just question is in general, when do we, as a city, expect that this whole massive construction project be completed? I know that we're so far off that, but just an estimate, a projected estimate, like 2023, that kind of.
Yeah, so my name is Stephanie Sampson. I'm the Director of Communications for the Landside Access Modernization Program. Our Intermodal Transportation Facility West, which is our new parking structure, just topped out on Saturday and will be opening next summer. That's the first component completed. And then the People Mover, the rental car facility, and the associated roadways and street improvements are all on track for 2020.
The making of campaign contributions.
Okay, thank you. That's all of the questions I have.
If the lobbyists are lobbying,
wait.
require to register.
All right, thank you, Vice President Garcia. President Pro Tem Davis.
Yes, I think Vice President Garcia asked half of my question. But the remaining half of the question is simply, in terms of completing this project, will it bring new jobs to residents in Los Angeles? And if so, do we have just an idea of what kind of impact we will be making as a result of this new facility? I'm really curious as to if we are simply moving an operation from one side of the area to the airport, or are we expanding and they're creating new economic opportunities, maybe in terms of small business service, transportation service, etc.? So that's my question.
Well, I can say during design and construction phase, there's a 30% local hire requirement. So all of our developers are meeting and exceeding those requirements, and that's part of their contract. And every contract at LAWA is requiring that now, and also making sure that we're being very inclusive and having local small business, disabled veterans business, a part of building the future of LAX. So that is definitely incorporated. Moving forward, when the projects are completed and open, I don't know the specifics on that, but we can certainly get the information for you. I do know our maintenance and storage facility will be something completely new to the airport, and we'll need employees to staff that. Where those employees would come from, Bombardier is our train operator. And provides maintenance, so it could come from them. But there could be opportunities definitely down the road to bring in more jobs.
Wonderful. Thank you.
$500 for late report.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Administrative penalty.
Commissioner Closer.
And if a lobbying entity is found to have.
Thank you, President Good.
Money laundering.
Thank you to LAX and the council office for being here today and Mr. Gandela for your presentation. I just had a quick question. This was a question I asked the last time we had a tree removal item on the agenda, but I think it would be good just for context in general, since this comes up frequently, even though we don't have any public comment at today's item. But I was just curious what the process was like for the master plan for the space, and what public input looked like at that point, since that was something that we had gotten questions about previously.
We're going to be taking up these matters again. And Commissioner Warden,
I can give a little bit of context.
I'd like you to make a few comments because you were also one of the commissioners that was looking into
we
this.
were reviewing these plans back in 2018, so this is a very large project area, and LAWA did a project-wide assessment as part of the environmental to make sure that they were tracking 2-for-1 replacements for certain trees and even 4-for-1 for protected species. That was reviewed with us, and then each one of these removals goes through the CFAC process as well. So every time there's a new removal that fits within the original parameters that LAWA set forth with our council office, goes through additional review with CFAC. And as you know, CFAC is the advisory body that's appointed by each of the council districts. So there's representation from all 15 districts, and so additional questions and concerns can be mentioned as part of that. And then there is some additional outreach to local stakeholder groups that could include things like the Gateway to LA Improvement District or the neighborhood council. And then going forward, there will be a few rounds of additional removals. We're near the end of this process, but additional public works projects we're gonna ensure that those go before neighborhood council. I don't know if Glenda wants to add anything to that. Sorry, didn't know.
Analysis of the money that is being spent.
Commissioner, did you have a follow-up question?
No, I didn't. Did you have anything else to add?
So we work hand in hand with the council office to make sure that we are, we communicate with the community on a timely basis regarding, all issues, not only the tree removal process, but we will make sure that we, reach out to the neighbor council again and provide additional information on the removals that are scheduled.
Is now looking at.
Appreciate you both kind of outlining the process, and it seems like it's been going on for some time now in terms of notification. It's just something that we get asked about frequently, even though it didn't come up today. So it's just good to know for our general awareness, too specific to your lamps, street, tree master plan. So I appreciate you providing that additional detail. Thank you.
To ensure.
Thank you, Commissioner Pelosa. Commissioner Villegas.
And compliance
Thank you. I don't have any questions. I was actually going to raise the same comment as Commissioner Colosa, just because we've had other folks last time at our meeting from CFAC make some comments, and so I'm glad that Lala joined us today. We asked Streets LA to be able to invite you all and to join us in the event that we had other members from the public so that you all could provide more context and more clarity. Appreciate it. Thank you. And thanks to the council member's office too. It really helps, you know, bolster and help validate all of the work that's been done, you know, thus far. So I'm glad that you all were able to join us today. Thank you. No questions.
Thank you, and agree. It's actually very helpful to have everyone here. Do I have a motion to approve?
We are also saying goodbye to Eric Tan, who is our director of audit on
Or Vice President Garcia? Okay. So I got to
Eric is one of the
this item forward with a second from Vice President Garcia. Any objections
just under
or questions? President Pro
So
Tem Davis?
between Mark and Eric, we are losing 50 years, more than 50 years of ethics commission.
You have questions or objections?
Oh, no. I don't have any objections.
Professional loss.
Commissioner
But they are also both,
all right, hearing no objections, this tree removal request is approved forthwith. Thank you, Jeff, thank you, Linda, thank you, Stephanie, and everyone else from Law Vigilance. Y'all have a great day. Thank you all.
And I'm happy to answer any other questions that anybody has.
All right, colleagues, that brings us to, like you said, continue item number 5 to October 27.
We have one
so
item
next
before
Tuesday.
depart
That now
today,
brings us to
update on the
item number
executive search
6.
process.
Item number 6,
That
and
process
CDs
is underway.
8
The
and 9.
job announcement has gone out.
This is a contract amendment
Several
for Coalition for
applications.
Responsible Community
The deadline
Development,
for
Supplemental
applications
Community
is October
Beautification and Cleanup
23rd.
Services.
As you already know, Commissioner Davis and I are serving on the subcommittee. We will be reviewing the applications
with the
and
Coalition for
conducting interviews in
Responsible Community
November.
Development in the
At
amount
the
of
December meeting, we will have a
$450,000 to provide
recommendation,
funding
we
for
will have a
supplemental
recommendation for
community
the next
beautification cleanup
executive
services and
director
2,
to
authorize the
fill
president or 2 members of the Board of Public
very,
Works
very, very large
contract
shoes.
amendment after
And we
approval
will
as
take
to
that
form
in
has
closed
been obtained
session
by the Office of the City
at the
Attorney.
December meeting. So that is the
Our Director of Office
timeline
of Community
that we
Beautification,
have.
Paul Roch, is
And
with
I
us
also wanted
this
to thank
morning.
Mr.
Good
Lowe and
morning,
also
Paul.
Mr. Tan for their service.
Yes, hi,
to
good
the
morning.
city. I also
Paul
want
Roch, Director of the
to
Office of
commend
Community
Commissioner
Beautification.
Orton and Commissioner Janelle for your
This
work
morning we
with
bring
enforcement.
forth a request for
Team
board
as that
approval to amend an
subcommittee, your
existing
input
contract
is invaluable,
with
and I want to
the
thank you for
Coalition
your
for
contributions
Responsible
and
Community
thank you for
Development,
continuing to serve on
a
that committee.
nonprofit
I
community-based
also want to
organization
again thank
which
our
provides
acting
various
enforcement
services
officer,
in South Los
for
Angeles.
her continued work.
Funding
and
in the
we
amount of
welcome a new person to that team. We're very
$350,000
excited
has
to
been transferred
work with her
from
as
the
well.
General City Purposes
And
Fund
if there are
to
not
the
any
Board of Public
questions
Works
or
Contractual
comments,
Services account
we can adjourn
for
the
public
meeting
right-of-way
at
cleanup and
10:55.
beautification
Madam
services
Moderator,
in
or
Council
anyone
District
see the other
9.
items that haven't been
And
covered?
further funding in the amount of $100,000
That's the only
has been
announcement
transferred
that I
via
have.
a recent council motion
And again, we're going to
for
be
public
dealing
right-of-way
with
cleanup
lobby
services
reform on our next
in
several
Council
meetings.
District
And for those
8.
of you who are on the call who are not on the
Typical
commission,
services
like I
provided
stated
with these
before,
funds
as
are litter and weed
communications,
abatement,
if someone has
bulky item
materials
pickup,
that they would like to
alley
provide,
cleaning,
please
and
come
other
to us warning us.
as-needed
It
or
is a
assigned
burden
work.
on our staff
Over
who
the
is
past
preparing for the
year,
meeting.
CRCD,
And if you
utilizing
can do
these
it,
same funds,
when you get the agenda item,
collected
please put those items
4,798
before
bags
the
of
day of the
trash,
commission
litter, weeds, and
meeting
debris
so we
in
can
Council
review those
District
items
8 and
the
collected
person is
6,908
or feedback,
illegally discarded large
wanna have those
items from
materials
along
so
the
we
public
can
right-of-way.
be more fruitful in our
Additionally, over the past year,
And that
CRCD,
is,
utilizing
again, I know this
the
is a longer
funds from
meeting than
Council
usual,
District 9,
at
collected
10:56,
19,821 bags of trash, litter, weeds, and debris, and
hang out all
collected
day,
10,110
Commissioner
illegally
Orton moves to
discarded
adjourn
large
the meeting.
items. So once
there a
again,
second?
OCB
Janelle,
respectfully requests
Thank
board
you.
approval to
call for
provide funds
question,
for crucial
Madam Moderator.
services in parts of the city greatly in
Commissioner
need.
Dar?
Once again, thank you. I'm
Commissioner
available
Davis?
for any questions that the board may have.
Commissioner Janelle?
Thank you, Paul. Let's open this up for common questions. I'll start with you, President Pro Tem Davis.
Yeah, I strongly support this because as we have observed during these very trying times of crisis of COVID-19, we've had an increase of need for cleanup, particularly in this area in the 8th and the 9th districts in South Los Angeles. So it is very good to know that the resources that we provide in community development, in the community beautification office will help us to achieve the cleanups that we definitely have to and really are compelled to do. So again, I strongly support this, and I'm very glad to see that we're moving forward to meet this really Herculean challenge that we have on our hands.
Thank you, President. The recording has stopped. Vice President Garcia.
I don't have any questions as well, but I echo Commissioner Davis's sentiments as well, Paul. I think this is absolutely necessary, and as much as we can do there in that area, we want to make sure we support it.
Yep. Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Commissioner Villegas.
I have no questions. I have questions, but I'll ask them offline with Mr. Roch.
Okay, gotcha. And then Commissioner Colosa?
I don't have any questions for this. I agree with my colleagues that it's always good for the council office to be investing more funds, especially right now when everyone's at home. So no questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. No questions from me, Paul. We need to move this forward. It would be that simple.
Agreed.
So, I will motion to approve this item. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. I think I also got a second from Commissioner Villegas. Any objections or questions, Vice President Garcia?
Absolutely no objections.
All right, Commissioner Colosa?
No objections.
All right, hearing no objections, the item is approved forthwith. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, colleagues, that brings us to item number 7. Item number 7 is a street closure request in CD5, Metropolitan Transportation Authority West Side Purple Line Extension Project Section 2 Piling and Decking System for the Constellation Station. Recommending the board, 1, find that the board has reviewed and considered the information in the Metropolitan Transportation Authority West Side Purple Line Extension Project Section 2 Draft Environmental Impact Statement, Environmental Impact Report, and the project final EIS/EIR. 2, find under the California Public Resources Code Section 21166 and the California Environmental Quality Act Guidelines, Section 15162. On the basis of substantial evidence contained in the whole record, that since certification of EIS/EIR, there have been no changes with respect to the circumstances under which the temporary street closure being undertaken would require a subsequent EIR or supplemental EIR. 3, adopt the March 2012 Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program prepared by Metro as it pertains to construction impacts. 4, find under the CEQA guidelines section 15091 that changes have been incorporated into the project which substantially lessens the significant environmental effects as identified in the final EIS/EIR. Further find that there is no feasible alternative or additional feasible mitigation measures within the board's powers that would substantially lessen any significant effect the project would have on the environment. 5, adopt the attached CEQA findings of fact and statement of overriding considerations as it pertains to the temporary street closure, and find that the economic, social, technological, and other benefits of the project outweigh its significant and unavoidable impacts. 6, specify that the Metro Transit Division of the Bureau of Engineering, located at 1149 South Broadway, the board located at 200 North Spring Street, and other relevant City of Los Angeles departments are custodians of the documents or other material which constitute the record of the proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 7, approve the request to temporarily close Constellation Boulevard from 500 feet east to 250 feet west of the Avenue of the Stars, excluding the intersection, for 32 days, starting on October 21, 2020 at 12 a.m. and ending on November 23, 2020 at 4 a.m. And the intersection of Avenue of the Stars and Constellation Boulevard for 5 weekends, starting with the weekend of October 24, 2020, and ending with the weekend of November 21, 2020, with each weekend closure starting on Friday at 9 p.m. and ending on Monday at 4 a.m. to perform piling and decking system for the Constellation Station. I know that we have representatives from Metro here, and then Larry Hsu from the Bureau of Engineering is here to present this request. Good morning, Larry, and good morning, colleagues from Metro.
Morning, and sorry and thank you, Commissioner or President Good. This is Larry Hsu with the Bureau of Engineering Metro Transit Division. The West Side Purple Line Extension project is divided into 3 sections. The Purple Line Section 2 extends the subway from the Wilshire La Cienega Station, which is being constructed as part of Purple Line 1, within the city of Beverly Hills, westward 2.5 miles along Wilshire Boulevard, ending in the city of Los Angeles limits in Century City near the intersection of Century Park West and Constellation Boulevard. The Purple Line 2 project is scheduled to be completed in the fall of 2025. Metro and its contractor, Tudor Perini Corporation and O&G Industries, TPOG, are requesting to close Constellation Boulevard both east and west of Avenue of the Stars for 32 days, starting October 21st and ending November 23rd, 2020, just prior to the anticipated annual holiday season street closure restriction, also known as the holiday moratorium, which typically includes Constellation Boulevard. The work to be performed during the street closure is to install a piling and decking system, which is needed to enable excavation for the Century City's Constellation Station and will provide a temporary roadway to facilitate traffic while the underground station is being constructed. This work was originally planned to be performed during a series of weeknight street closures. However, the project team has decided to pursue continuous street closures since there is currently very light traffic due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and Mayor Garcetti's Safer at Home emergency order. At the time of writing this board report, there was one submittal pending approval by BOE. However, that last remaining submittal is in the process of being approved today. As part of this request, a CEQA memo was completed to analyze the additional traffic impacts of the street closure. Conclusion of the memo was that the street closure would not result in any new significant environmental impacts or an increase in the severity of impacts from the previous or an increase in severity of impacts. Metro stated that they have provided advance notice performing mitigations for construction impacts in the Century City neighborhood in advance of the project construction activities. Council District 5 has communicated support of the peak hour exemption for this closure. And the LAPD noise variance permits for the construction was approved through November 24th, 2020. That concludes my report. Metro will be submitting additional street closures requests associated with the work in this area. We have Dan Kamora from Metro that can provide additional information about these upcoming closure requests if you have questions. Otherwise, we have representatives from Metro, TPOG, LADOT, and BOE on the line to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Larry, very much. Would Metro like to add anything to this item? Otherwise, I'll open for my colleagues.
Good morning, President Good and Commissioners. My name is Dan Kamor, and I'm the Deputy Project Manager for the project. Before I say anything, I first want to express Mike McKenna's apologies for not being able to be here, the project manager. I think you all met him a few weeks ago when he presented our quarterly update on the project. He had a a prior engagement with the FTA, so he's on a conference call with Washington, D.C. right now. I don't have anything to add to Mr. Shu's presentation. Specifically, I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Also, Larry alluded that we will be coming back to your board for additional closures to complete the work that's contained in this board report. I have any answers that you may have to the questions that, I'm sorry. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have related to that statement.
Great. Thanks, Dan. It's good to meet you, and thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
And I trust and hope Mike's call goes well, because it's invariably important. All right, colleagues, comments or questions? We'll start with Vice President Garcia.
Thank you, President Good. And Larry, thank you for your report. I do not have any questions. Just confirming, this is only for weekend closure, right?
No, okay. The street Constellation is being closed continuously, but the intersection of Constellation and Avenue of the Stars is being closed only on the weekends.
Oh, okay, that was what I was.
So there's two separate parts to that.
So we'll close Constellation down for sure, but the weekend is just alternating on the weekend, right? I mean, I'm sorry, the intersection is only alternating on the weekend. Got it.
That is correct.
That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. President Pro Tem Davis.
Yeah, I support the motion, and I think my observations is that we are fortunate to be able to proceed with construction work despite the crisis we're in terms of COVID-19 and people not being able to assemble. And so while we have on one hand said that we would move forward on construction, it's important that as they move forward that we're doing so in a way that will be in safety to those men and women who are working as construction workers as well. So I'm very glad to see that obviously things have been going successfully well for us in terms of this project, because we've had consistent work from our men and women in construction, and that now as we move forward to close temporarily, it's another sign that we are still making progress despite the challenge that we all face in terms of coming together to get work done. So I strongly support this, and I wish our team continued success to work under these conditions. So thank you for this proposal.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Questions or comments, Commissioner Villegas?
Thank you. I don't have any questions. We know this isn't the first time that this project has been before our board, and I know it's continuous, so I am fine. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Commissioner Closa?
Thank you, President Good. I noticed Larry apologized in his opening. What was that apology for, Larry?
It all gives me great pain to see President Good reading those long recommendations. It's really above and beyond the call of duty as far as I'm concerned, but thank you for doing it every time.
I get a good voice workout. It's good.
I just wanted to double check because you apologized. Like, did I miss something that we should be asking you about? I did have one question. You mentioned there's one pending transmittal. Is that something Metro owes the Bureau of Engineering, or is that something that the Bureau of Engineering owes back to Metro?
Our teams have been working together to, there are a lot of submittals that have to be agreed upon and approved prior to these closures going forward. And this one is now at its very end. But at the time when we were writing the report, it was still in process. And I understand that our team is setting back the approval today. So that's it, yeah.
So you're done in terms of proceeding with this closure that begins tomorrow?
Correct.
Got it. Okay. I don't have any questions. You already outlined the outreach work that's been done on this, and I'm glad that it's going to be wrapping up before the Thanksgiving holiday. So thank you, Mr. Shu. Thank you, Mr. Kamor. I don't have any further questions. President Good.
Thank you, Commissioner Closa. I do not either. Thank you, Larry, for the presentation. Again, thanks, Dan, for Mr. Kamor for joining us. Do I have a motion to move this item forward?
So move.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. I got a second from Commissioner Villegas, and I think also a second from Commissioner Closa. Is that right?
I didn't say anything, but
Okay. So any objections, Commissioner Closa?
no objections.
All right. Thank you, Vice President Garcia.
No objection.
All right. Got a motion from President Pro Tem Davis to move the item. With a second from Commissioner Villegas. Hearing no objections, the item is approved forthwith. Thank you, gentlemen. Y'all.
Thank you, commissioners.
You're welcome. Go build.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, that brings us to item number 8, colleagues. Item number 8 is an authority for expenditure for South Coast Air Quality Management District. This is Bureau of Street Services and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $36,000 to pay for the annual operating and emissions fees and permits associated with asphalt plants and other facilities for fiscal year 2020-21. This is a this is a sanitation fee. We got Syra Gandhi with us this morning. Good morning, Syra.
Good morning. Yes, this is Square Street Services. We're requesting your approval for us to pay for our permit fees for predominantly the asphalt plants and the Van Norman yard. And it's an annual fee that we pay for those emissions. So if you have any questions, please let us know, but that's what it is.
Great. Vice President Garcia, any questions or comments?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. President Pro Tem Davis?
No questions.
All right. Commissioner Colosa?
No questions. Thank you.
All right. And Commissioner Villegas?
Yeah, no questions for me, thank you.
That was, I mean, that may be an all-time quick, Sarah. So, hearing no objections, I have a motion to move it forward. You're on the clock.
I'll move.
All right. Moved by Commissioner Villegas. Second?
Second.
All right. Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Commissioner Colosa or Vice President Garcia?
None.
Objections.
Hearing no objections, this item is approved forthwith. Thank you, Syra.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. All right, colleagues, that brings us lastly to item number 9. This is another AFE for the State Water Resources Control Board. Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $37,962. New adjusted amount of $167,962 to encumber funds to pay for recycled water review during fiscal year 2018-19, which resulted in recycled water fees as acquired by the State of California State Water Resources Control Board. Michael Phan with Sanitation is here to present and explain a little. How are you doing, Michael?
Morning, President Good, Board Commissioners, and Dr. Campos. Michael Phan, I'm with the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant. So there is a bit of an error with what's written for this authority for expenditure, but let me just give some background first. So for last fiscal year, FY 19-20, we requested an increase to our previous State Water Resources Control Board authority for expenditure to pay for an additional invoice in the amount of $37,962 for review of our recycled water system. That increase was not processed in time for last fiscal year's authority for expenditure, so we requested that increase come on this fiscal year's authority for expenditure. And this increase would be in the amount of $170,000, which was approved on October 6th, plus the invoice amount of $37,962, which would come out to a final requested amount of $217,962 for the fiscal year 2021 authority for expenditure. So our division's management analysts noted that there were some errors on the paperwork that were submitted for this board report, which may have been due to some miscommunication in purchasing, since the authority for expenditure number, council district number, and the requested amount and appropriation unit are incorrect. So the correct authority for expenditure number would be AE 217609995M. The council district number should be 15, and the requested amount should be $217,962, and the appropriation unit would be 50 TX82. I would like to request approval from the board for this authority for expenditure increase, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Michael. I'm a simple man, but I'm actually a little confused. I'm actually going to suggest that we continue this for next week, and let's just get all of our documents lined up and all of our numbers lined up so that we all have a clearer picture. No fault to you, Michael. I just feel like that's a lot of amendments, and I want to make sure we get it right. So let's continue this. Let's continue this to next Tuesday, Dr. Campos.
Mr. President, I could definitely continue this till next Tuesday. However, my recommendation would be to withdraw the item and then allow the Bureau of Sanitation to correct all the paperwork. The amendments that are being proposed by Mr. Fan are significant in regards to the dollar amounts and the increases. This increase may actually put you over the cost containment threshold of $100,000. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and do the calculations. Also, the description in the AFE that's before you does not capture everything that Mr. Fan presented before you. So I think it's best to withdraw it if this board would like, and then allow the Bureau of Sanitation to correct the paperwork, true it up, put the right information, resubmit it to your board, then at that time the board can consider. Again, I can continue if your board would like, but I would recommend to withdraw the item.
No, I think that that's a great call. When I said continue, I was thinking about being able to redo it, but you're right. If we continue, we're just going to have the same item. So
you have to amend it.
Yeah, let's do that. Any objections, colleagues, to us withdrawing the item? All right. So that's something I just do as an act that doesn't require a vote, Dr. Gibbons?
Does not require a vote. It just needs a statement from the board to withdraw.
Okay, so statement from the board to withdraw. We are going to withdraw.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Fan, let's just get this all righted and submitted when everything's I's are dotted and T's crossed, okay?
Sure, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. Fan. All right, colleagues, I believe that's it. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the deck?
Yes, you have.
All right, terrific. So that is almost perfect timing. We have our directors meeting at 11:30. That gives you all a luxuriant 10 minutes to deal with cats and other items.
Sorry, she just got spayed, so she's very,
Got the thing on?
yeah, she has a cone on. She's being very needy.
I look forward to our periodic cat viewing, Commissioner Colette. Do not worry at all. Okay, so we will, this meeting is hereby adjourned. We will reconvene our director's meeting at 11:30. I'll see you all in a bit.
Okay.
I am now stopping the recording.
Okay, how many we got? How many minutes we got? 10?
Dr. Davis, yes, about 9 minutes, 10 minutes in total.
Thank you.